Lena stared at the strange object that had crashed in her backyard. It glowed with a soft blue light. The metal was unlike anything she had ever seen before. Not steel, not aluminum, something else entirely. She reached out to touch it and felt a gentle warmth radiating from its surface. It had fallen from the sky during the night. She had heard the crash and felt the ground shake. Now in the early morning light, she examined it closely. It was about the size of a small car, but shaped like a teardrop. The surface was smooth except for a line that ran around the middle. Perhaps it was a door. Lena lived alone on the outskirts of town. Her nearest neighbor was 3 miles away. That was how she liked it. After 15 years as a soldier, she preferred solitude to crowds. She had bought this small farm with her military pension. Growing vegetables and raising chickens kept her busy enough. She tapped the object with her knuckles. It made a strange ringing sound like crystal. She wondered if she should call someone, the police, the military. But something held her back. Curiosity, perhaps, or maybe it was the feeling that this was meant for her. Suddenly, the line around the middle began to glow brighter. Lena stepped back, her hand instinctively reaching for a weapon that was not there. The top half of the object lifted slightly with a soft hiss. Steam or mist escaped from the opening. Lena held her breath. A hand emerged from the mist. A slender hand with long fingers and silvery skin, followed by an arm. Then a face appeared. A female face, but not human. The skin was the color of polished silver with faint patterns etched across the cheeks and forehead. The eyes were large and almond-shaped with no whites, just pools of deep violet. The creature had no hair. Instead, there were small ridges that ran from the forehead back over the skull. The alien, for that was clearly what it was, looked directly at Lena. No fear showed in those strange eyes, only exhaustion. The creature tried to climb out, but fell back with a soft cry of pain. Lena hesitated only a moment before stepping forward to help. She reached into the craft and grasped the alien by the shoulders. The skin felt smooth and slightly cooler than human skin. With Lena's help, the alien emerged from the craft. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with a slender build. She wore what appeared to be a uniform of some kind, a close-fitting suit of dark blue material, with symbols Lena did not recognize emblazoned on the chest. The alien swayed on her feet, and Lena caught her before she fell. The alien spoke words in a language Lena had never heard before. The voice was melodic, almost musical, but there was urgency in the tone. Lena shook her head. "I don't understand." The alien reached up and touched a device on her collar. It made a soft beeping sound. Then she spoke again, and this time, Lena understood the words. "Help me. Please, they are coming. Who is coming?" Lena asked. The alien looked up at the sky hunters. "They will kill me. And then they will kill you all." Lena followed her gaze but saw only blue sky and clouds. She had been in enough dangerous situations to recognize the signs of someone in genuine fear. The alien was terrified. "Can you walk?" Lena asked. The alien nodded, but when she tried to take a step, she grimaced in pain. Lena saw that one of the alien's legs was injured. There was no blood, but the leg was bent at an unnatural angle. Lena made a quick decision. She put her arm around the alien, supporting her weight. "Come on, let's get you inside." They moved slowly toward Lena's small farmhouse, the alien limping beside her. Looking back, Lena saw that the craft had begun to shimmer and fade. Within seconds, it had vanished completely. Inside the house, Lena helped the alien to sit on the couch. The alien looked around with obvious curiosity at the simple furnishings. "What's your name?" Lena asked. The alien touched her chest. "My name is Talia in your language." Lena," Lena replied. "What are you doing here? Why did you crash?" "In my yard." Talia touched the device on her collar again, adjusting it. "I am a scientist from a world you call Proxima Centauri. B. We have been observing Earth for many years. I was on a research mission when my ship was attacked. I barely escaped." Paused, looking at Lena with those strange violet eyes. "They will track me here. They will come for me. Who will come for you?" Lena asked. Another species. The Vorn. They are conquerors. They destroy worlds. They have been at war with my people for generations. Now they have found Earth. Lena tried to process this information. It seemed impossible. Yet here was the proof sitting on her couch, an alien from another world. Why would these Vorn care about Earth? Talia leaned forward. Your planet is special. The variety of life here. The resources. Your people are still primitive in space travel, but you have great potential. The Vorn do not allow potential rivals to develop. They will destroy you as they have destroyed others. Lena had faced danger before. She had fought in wars. She knew what it meant to be hunted, but this was different. This was bigger than anything she had ever faced. How long do we have before they arrive? Talia looked down at her hands. They were already in your solar system when I fled. Perhaps 3 of your days, maybe less. 3 days. Lena stood and walked to the window, looking out at her peaceful farm. The morning sun cast long shadows across the yard. Birds sang in the trees. It was hard to believe that it might all be gone in 3 days. We need to warn people, Lena said. Talia shook her head. Who would believe you? Your governments would think you mad, or worse, they would capture me, study me, waste precious time we do not have. She was right, of course. Who would believe a story about alien invaders? It sounded crazy even to Lena, and she was looking right at the evidence. What can we do? Then, Talia touched a band on her wrist. A holographic display appeared above it, showing symbols and images. Lena did not understand. I sent a distress signal before I crashed. My people will come, but I fear they will be too late. The Vorn move quickly. What about your ship? Lena asked. Can we use it? It is damaged beyond repair, Talia replied. And even if it were not, it is only a small research vessel. It has no weapons. Lena ran her hand through her short brown hair, thinking she had been trained to handle crisis situations, to make quick decisions under pressure. But nothing in her military career had prepared her for this. Talia suddenly stiffened. Her head tilted as if listening to something Lena could not hear. They are scanning this area, she said. They know my ship came down near here. How can you tell? I can sense their technology. She tapped her temple. We have certain abilities. Your kind does not. My people can detect energy fields, certain types of radiation. Lena moved to the window again, scanning the sky. How long before they find us? Talia struggled to her feet, joining Lena at the window. Not long. Their scanners are powerful. She pointed to her leg. I need to heal this. But I require certain materials. What do you need? Talia described several minerals and elements, some familiar to Lena, others completely unknown. She needs help. Lena realized, help that Lena alone could not provide. There is someone who might be able to help, Lena said. Her name is Maya. She was a combat medic when we served together. Now she works in a lab at the university. She knows chemistry, biology. She might understand what you need. Can you trust her? Talia asked. With my life, Lena replied. And maybe now with the lives of everyone on Earth. Lena picked up her phone and called Maya. It took some convincing to get her friend to come without explaining everything. Over the phone, it would have sounded insane. But Maya had always trusted Lena. If Lena said it was an emergency, Maya would come. While they waited, Lena helped Talia clean her injury. The alien skin was strange to touch, almost metallic but flexible. There was no blood but a clear fluid, seeped from the wound. Your species is very different from mine, Talia observed, yet also similar. We share a basic form. We breathe the same air. Our cells are different, but the pattern of life is the same. My people have studied yours for centuries. We find you fascinating. Why have you never contacted us before? Talia made a gesture that might have been a shrug. We have rules about interfacing with developing species. We observe, we study, we do not interfere. But now, she looked out the window again. Now everything has changed. The Vorn have forced our hand. Lena heard a car approaching outside. Maya had arrived. Lena met her at the door. Maya was short with curly black hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She carried a large medical bag. You better have a good explanation for dragging me out here on my day off, Maya began, then stopped as she saw Talia standing in the living room. Her mouth fell open. What in the... It's a long story, Lena said, and we don't have much time. As Lena explained, Maya stared at Talia with a mixture of shock and scientific fascination. She approached the alien, cautiously examining the wounded leg with professional interest. "This is incredible," she whispered. She touched Talia's skin gently. "Amazing. The cellular structure must be completely different from ours. Can you help her?" Lena asked. Maya opened her bag. "I can try. But I'm working blind here. I don't know her physiology." Talia spoke up. "I can guide you." She began describing her anatomy using terms that made Maya nod with understanding. The two of them slipped into a technical discussion that Lena could barely follow. Lena returned to the window, watching the sky. The world had changed in a matter of hours. Everything she thought she knew had been upended. Yet somehow, she felt strangely calm. This was a mission now, and missions were something she understood. Outside, the birds had stopped singing. Maya worked carefully on Talia's injured leg. The alien sat perfectly still while Maya applied a mixture she had created from her medical supplies and some unusual crystals Talia had been carrying. The clear fluid that leaked from the wound had stopped flowing, and the strange metallic skin was slowly knitting back together. How is this even possible? Maya whispered, more to herself than to either of them. Her scientific mind was racing, trying to understand the biology of the creature before her. Talia watched Maya with interest. "Your friend is skilled." Lena nodded from her position by the window. She had been watching the sky for hours now, seeing nothing unusual. Yet she could feel the tension in the air, like the calm before a storm. She had felt it before in war zones. That electric feeling when something terrible was about to happen. Maya finished bandaging Talia's leg with a special wrapping that incorporated the alien's crystals. "There," she said. "That should help the healing process, though I'm mostly guessing here." "Thank you," Talia said. She tested the leg, putting some weight on it. "The pain seems less." Lena turned from the window. "We need a plan," she said. "We can't just sit here waiting for these Vorn to show up." Talia rose carefully, moving with more ease now. The Vorn fleet consists of 3 warships and several smaller vessels. They are heavily armed. She projected a hologram from her wrist device, showing the ships. They were massive black vessels with sharp, angular designs that somehow conveyed menace even as tiny projections. "Your world's military forces are not prepared for this level of technology," Talia continued. "They have weapons that can destroy cities from orbit." Maya had been quiet, taking all this in. Now she spoke. "What about your people, Talia? You said they were coming." "Yes, but they are at least 5 days away," Talia replied. "We will not survive that long without action." "So what can we do?" Lena asked. 3 humans and 1 injured alien against an invasion fleet. The odds seemed impossible. Talia looked at her wrist device again. "I have been analyzing options." She tapped some symbols, and the hologram changed, showing a map of the area. "There is a facility 20 miles from here. A government research installation. They have technology there that might be useful." "What kind of technology?" Maya asked. "Your government has recovered artifacts, alien technology over the years." Talia explained. "Some from my people, some from others. Most of it they cannot use because they do not understand it. But I could use it. I could perhaps create a defense system, something to shield this region at least, until my people arrive." Lena and Maya exchanged looks. They both knew what Talia was talking about. Area 27, a secret military facility that was the subject of rumors and conspiracy theories. Neither of them had ever been there, but they had heard stories during their military service. "You're talking about breaking into one of the most secure government facilities in the country," Maya said. "That seems like suicide. Do you have a better idea?" Lena asked. Maya had no answer to that. Talia spoke again. "Time is critical. The Vorn will begin their attack soon. First, they will destroy your communication systems, then your power grids, then your military installations. After that, they will target population centers. The calm way she described the end of human civilization sent chills down Lena's spine. How do we get into this facility? Lena asked. Talia smiled for the first time since they had met. It was a strange expression on her alien face. I have certain abilities, she said. She held up her hand and it began to shimmer, changing color and texture until it looked exactly like human skin. Then her entire body shimmered and changed. Within seconds, she appeared completely human, her silver skin and strange features replaced by those of an ordinary woman with brown hair and brown eyes. Only her unusual height remained the same. Maya gasped. How did you do that? Adaptive, camouflage, Talia explained. It is temporary but effective. She returned to her natural silver form. I can appear as any humanoid of similar mass. That might get you in the front door, Lena said. But what about security systems guards? I know someone who works there, Maya said suddenly. Both Lena and Talia looked at her in surprise. My cousin Olivia. She works in the labs there. She doesn't talk about it much, but I've pieced things together over the years. She could help us. Maybe it's a risk, Lena said. Everything is a risk now, Talia replied. Maya made the call, stepping outside for privacy. While she was gone, Lena found clothes for Talia to wear. Her own clothes were too small for the tall alien, but she had some oversized sweatshirts and pants that would work. Talia examined the clothing with curious fingers. Your fabrics are primitive but comfortable, she said. Lena smiled despite the situation. Glad you approve, Maya returned, looking worried. I spoke to Olivia. She thinks I'm crazy, of course, but she agreed. To meet us, she says there might be a way in through a maintenance entrance. Security is lighter there. When Lena asked, when do we go tonight? Maya said, after dark, Olivia will be working late. The hours until nightfall passed. Slowly, Lena cleaned her old service pistol, knowing it would probably be useless against alien invaders, but feeling better for having it. Maya gathered medical supplies and anything else she thought might be useful. Talia meditated, or at least that was what it looked like, to Lena. The alien sat perfectly still. Her eyes closed, her breathing so shallow she barely seemed alive. As the sun began to set, Lena felt the familiar sensation of preparing for a mission. The focus, the calm, the acceptance that things might go wrong. She had been a good soldier because she could function under extreme pressure. She would need that skill now more than ever. They took Maya's car, driving through the darkening countryside. The roads were empty. Few people lived in this remote area. Talia sat in the back seat, now disguised as a human woman. She stared out the window at the passing landscape. Your world is beautiful, she said. There is so much water, so much green. The Vorn worlds are mostly desert now. They have used up their resources. That is why they take from others. Why hasn't anyone stopped them? Maya asked from behind the wheel. Other advanced species like yours. Many have tried, Talia replied. Some have been destroyed. Some have retreated to distant parts of the galaxy. My people have fought them for generations. It is a stalemate mostly. We protect our worlds, they seek new ones. And now they have found Earth. Lena said. Talia nodded. They will not stop until they have taken everything or until they are defeated. The research facility appeared ahead. A complex of low buildings surrounded by high fences topped with razor wire. Floodlights illuminated the perimeter. Guards patrolled with dogs. Maya parked on a side road half a mile away. They would walk the rest of the way. Olivia is meeting us by the south fence, Talia said. There is a service road that leads to a maintenance entrance. They walked in silence through the woods that bordered the facility. Lena in the lead, Maya behind her. Talia moving with surprising grace despite her injured leg. The night was clear with a half moon providing just enough light to see by. They reached the fence and waited. A few minutes later, a figure approached from inside the compound. A woman with short red hair wearing a lab coat. She looked nervous, constantly glancing over her shoulder. Maya stepped forward. Olivia, she called softly. The woman startled. then relaxed slightly when she saw her cousin. "I must be out of my mind," she whispered through the fence. She produced a key card and swiped it through a reader. The gate clicked open. "I can get you into the storage area," she said, "but after that you're on your own. I could lose my job for this. Actually, I could go to prison for this." "Thank you," Maya said. "We wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Important doesn't begin to cover it." Lena thought. They followed Olivia along the service road, keeping to the shadows. She led them to a small door in the back of one of the buildings. Another swipe of her card and they were inside. "This is as far as I go," Olivia said. "What you're looking for is in secure storage level B." She handed Maya her key card. "This will get you to the elevator, but it won't get you into the secure areas for that. You'll need someone with higher clearance." She looked at her watch. "I need to get back to the lab before anyone notices I'm gone." "Good luck, and Maya, you owe me big time." After Olivia left, they found the elevator. Talia studied the control panel. "It requires a code," she said, "but I can bypass it." She placed her hand over the panel and closed her eyes. Her fingers seemed to melt slightly, flowing into the electronic components. After a moment, the elevator hummed to life and the doors opened. "How did you do that?" Lena asked as they stepped inside. "Your electronic systems are simple compared to ours," Talia replied. "I can interface with them directly." The elevator descended smoothly. When the doors opened, they found themselves in a long corridor with doors on either side. Each door had a keypad and a sign with a number. Guards would be patrolling soon. They had to move quickly. Talia consulted her wrist device. "This way," she said, leading them down the corridor. Her device was scanning for specific energy signatures. They turned a corner and came face to face with a security guard. He was as surprised as they were, reaching for his weapon even as he opened his mouth to challenge them. Lena moved faster. Drawing her pistol, she struck him on the temple with the butt. He collapsed without a sound. Lena caught him before he hit the floor. They dragged him into an empty room, Maya checking to make sure he was only unconscious, not seriously injured. Lena took his keycard, and Radio Talia led them further into the complex, her wrist device pulsing faster as they approached what she was seeking. Finally, they reached a large door marked "Secure Storage, Anomalous Materials, No Unauthorized Access." Back at the farm, Talia worked swiftly. She had arranged the stolen technology on Lena's kitchen table, along with parts from household appliances. Lena had sacrificed her microwave, television, and computer to the cause. The alien fingers moved with incredible precision, connecting wires, adjusting components, integrating Earth technology with the advanced alien devices. Maya watched in fascination. Occasionally, Talia would ask her for help, holding something in place or retrieving a tool. Maya had a background in science, but what Talia was doing went far beyond her understanding. It was like watching someone from the far future build something with Stone Age tools. Lena kept watch by the window. The night was quiet, too quiet. No insects chirping, no night birds calling. The animals sensed something wrong. "Do you think they know where we are?" Lena asked. Talia did not look up from her work. "They know something fell from the sky in this region. They will be searching in an expanding pattern. From that point, they have technology that can detect my energy signature. But the power source," she nodded toward the crystal sphere, "is masking it for now." How much longer? Talia connected 2 more wires. A spark jumped between components. Soon, a few more connections. "The device is crude, but it should function. What exactly will it do?" Maya asked. "Create a shield." Talia explained. "An energy field that will disrupt their weapons and scanning systems. It will not stop them forever, but it will buy us time for what." Lena wondered. But she didn't ask. She had been a soldier long enough to know that sometimes survival meant taking one step at a time, not thinking too far ahead. The lights flickered. Talia looked up. "The power grid," she said. "They are beginning." Lena checked her phone. No signal. "They are jamming communications," just as Talia had predicted. The first phase of the invasion had begun. Power communications. Next would come military targets. Talia worked faster, her fingers almost a blur. The lights went out completely, plunging the room into darkness. Lena found flashlights. Maya held one steady, illuminating Talia's work. I need more power, Talia said. The household current is gone. Lena thought quickly. I have a generator in the shed. She hurried outside. The night air felt charged with electricity. The hair on her arms stood on end. She looked up. The stars seemed dimmer somehow, as if something was blocking their light. The generator was old but reliable. Lena had maintained it carefully. She rolled it out of the shed and started it up. The familiar rumble was comforting, a normal sound in a world that had suddenly become very abnormal. She ran an extension cord into the house. Talia immediately connected her device to the power. The crystal sphere began to glow with an inner light pulsing slowly like a heartbeat. The other components hummed and clicked. Talia adjusted something, and the sphere glowed brighter. It is working, she said, but the range is limited. Perhaps 1 mile in each direction. Will it protect us? Lena asked. From their initial scans, yes. From direct fire, possibly. Suddenly, the ground shook. A deep, rumbling vibration that rattled windows and knocked pictures from walls. They are landing, Talia said. They will send ground forces to investigate anomalies their scans detected before the jamming. How many? Lena asked. A small force at first to scout. To assess. Lena checked her pistol, knowing how inadequate it was against alien invaders. She wished for her old military, a rifle, or better yet, a rocket launcher. Maya spoke up. I have something that might help. Her hands shook slightly as she reached into her medical bag and removed a small case. From this, she took a vial of clear liquid. I was working on this at the lab, she explained. It was supposed to be a new anesthetic, but the molecular structure is unstable. It causes cellular disruption. Will it work on the Vorn? Talia asked. I don't know, Maya replied. But if their biology has any similarities to Earth life forms, it could be effective. It would need to be injected or ingested, though Lena took the vial. How many doses? 6, maybe 7 if we measure carefully. Not much, but better than nothing. Lena found syringes in Maya's bag and carefully filled them with the liquid. The rumbling stopped. The sudden silence was almost as unsettling as the noise had been. They will come on foot now, Talia said. She touched her device, making final adjustments. The shield is at full power, but using the generator it will only last a few hours. Lena moved to the window again, scanning the darkness beyond. She had positioned the flashlights to avoid backlighting themselves, making them harder to spot from outside. Her military training was coming back to her, setting up defensive positions, controlling lines of sight, identifying escape routes. She saw movement at the edge of the field, dark shapes moving with purpose. Their outline was wrong somehow. Not human, too tall, too angular. They moved with an unnatural precision there. Here, Lena whispered. Talia joined her at the window. How many? I count 5. Lena replied. Maybe more in the trees. The Vorn moved into the moonlight and Lena got her first clear look at them. They were tall, easily 7 feet, with broad shoulders and narrow waists. Their bodies were covered in what appeared to be armor, black and segmented. They had no visible heads. Instead, their upper torso tapered to a sensor array, with multiple lenses that glowed red in the darkness. Their arms ended not in hands, but in what looked like weapons. Sleek black devices that hummed with power. They are drones, Talia said, not fully sentient, controlled from the ship. She pointed to one larger figure among them. That is their commander, an actual Vorn. The others are extensions of its will. The Vorn stopped at the edge of the yard. They seemed to be scanning the house. One raised its weapon arm. A beam of intense light swept across the building. They cannot see us clearly, Talia said. The shield disrupts their sensors, but they know something is here. The commander made a gesture and the drones spread out surrounding the house. They would attack from all sides. We need a plan, Lena said. Talia touched her wrist device. I can disrupt their communication with the ship, she said. But only briefly. And only once. The power required would drain the shield. When the shield fails, they will attack. Maya, said, her voice tight with fear. Yes, Talia agreed. But if we can eliminate the commander, the drones will be temporarily confused. They will default to basic programming. Lena formulated a plan quickly. It was risky, but they had no choice. Talia would disrupt the communication. Maya would stay with the device, keeping it functioning as long as possible. Lena would go outside and deal with the commander using Maya's toxin. Talia warned that the Vorn commander would be formidable. Even without its drones, it was a dangerous opponent evolved for combat. Lena nodded, understanding the risk. She had faced dangerous enemies before, though none from another planet. She took a syringe and concealed it in her sleeve. Another in her pocket. The element of surprise would be her only advantage. The Vorn would not expect a direct attack. They waited until the drones had completely surrounded the house. Then Talia activated the disruption. A high-pitched whine filled the air. The drones froze in place, their red sensors flickering. The commander made a sound, a harsh metallic screech. It began moving its sensor array back and forth, searching for the source of the interference. Now, Lena said. She slipped out the back door, keeping low, using the shadows for cover. The night air was cold against her skin. She could see the commander about 30 yards away. Its back was to her as it scanned the front of the house. She moved silently, years of training guiding her steps. 20 yards away, the commander's sensor array swiveled. Suddenly, Lena froze. Had it detected her, she held her breath. The array turned back to the house. She continued her approach 10 yards. The commander was massive up close, its armor gleaming in the moonlight. She could hear it now. A soft mechanical whirring as it moved, a deeper sound like breathing, but with a metallic edge. 5 yards, one of the drones nearby twitched, its sensors blinking rapidly. The disruption was wearing off. Lena had seconds, not minutes. She lunged forward. The commander sensed her at the last moment, beginning to turn. Lena slammed into its back. The armor was hard, unyielding. She searched frantically, for a gap, a seam, anything. She found one at the joint where arm met torso. She plunged the syringe in, pushing the plunger all the way down. The commander screeched a sound that hurt Lena's ears. It spun with incredible speed, knocking her to the ground. The air left her lungs in a rush. Pain exploded across her ribs. She rolled, barely avoiding a strike that left a crater in the earth where her head had been. The commander loomed over her. Its sensor array focused on her face. The weapon arm raised. Glowing with energy, Lena pulled the second syringe from her pocket, and as the commander reached for her, she drove it into the same joint. The effect was not immediate. The commander grabbed her, lifting her off the ground. Its grip was crushing. Felt something crack in her shoulder. Pain shot down her arm. Her vision blurred. Then the commander shuddered. Its sensor array flickered. The grip loosened slightly. Lena pushed against it, using her legs for leverage. They both fell to the ground. Lena, on top. She rolled away, clutching her injured arm. The commander tried to rise, but its movements were jerky, uncoordinated. The toxin was working. Maya had been right about the biological similarities. The armor plates shifted, revealing glimpses of what lay beneath, not metal but something organic, flesh of some kind. Though unlike any flesh Lena had seen, the commander made one last lunge toward her, then collapsed. Its sensor array went dark. The body twitched once, twice, then was still. The cave entrance was hidden behind a stand of pine trees. Lena parked the car in a small clearing, covering it with branches to hide it from aerial view. She led Maya and Talia up a narrow path that wound between boulders. The mouth of the cave was low, forcing them to duck as they entered. The air inside was cool and damp, smelling of earth and stone. Lena had brought flashlights, but they used them sparingly, conserving the batteries. The cave system was extensive tunnels branching off in multiple directions, some leading deeper into the mountain, others ending in small chambers. Lena remembered the main passages from her previous explorations. She led them to a large chamber, about half a mile in. This should be far enough, Talia set up the shield generator on a flat rock. The crystal sphere glowed softly, providing enough light to see by its power was diminishing the once bright blue light, now pale and flickering. "How long will it last?" Maya asked. "A few more hours," Talia replied. "Perhaps until morning. Without a power source to recharge it, the crystal will eventually burn out." And then Lena asked, "Then the Vorn will find us." They settled in, making the cave as comfortable as possible. Maya tended to Lena's injuries again. Checking for signs of infection, Lena ate some of the food she had brought, offering some to the others. Talia declined, explaining that her species required different nutrients. "What happens when your people arrive?" Lena asked. "They will engage the Vorn," Talia said. "War," she said the word flatly, as if it were a simple statement of fact, not the apocalyptic scenario it represented for Earth. "And Earth will be the battlefield," Maya said. Talia nodded. "Unless we can find another way." There was silence for a moment, each lost in their own thoughts. Lena had seen war up close, had experienced its horrors. But what Talia described would make human conflict seem like children's squabbles in comparison, advanced civilizations with technologies beyond imagination, using Earth as their battleground. "Is there another way?" Lena finally asked. Talia hesitated. "I have been considering possibilities," she admitted. "There is one option, but it is dangerous. Perhaps impossible." "Tell us," Maya urged. "What other choice do we have?" Talia touched her wrist device, bringing up a holographic display. "The Vorn fleet consists of 3 ships," she explained. 2 smaller vessels and 1 command ship. She pointed to the largest ship in the display. "This is their neural hub. The Vorn are connected through a quantum network. All decisions, all commands flow from this ship. If it were disabled, the others would be temporarily directionless." "Could your people target just that ship?" Lena asked. "Possibly, but by the time they arrive, the Vorn will have established ground bases. Their forces will be spread across your world. The damage would already be extensive. So we need to disable the command ship now," Maya said. "But how?" "We can't exactly fly up there and knock on the door." Talia's expression changed, something between a smile and a grimace. "Actually, we can both." Humans stared at her. "The ship I arrived in," Talia continued. "It was not completely destroyed, merely damaged and hidden. I can repair it enough for 1 more flight. But I would need parts, technology." "Like what?" Maya asked. "Like the components inside the Vorn commander." Talia replied. "I saw it when you fought it, Lena. Its neural processor remains intact. The drones too contain useful technology." Lena thought about the alien bodies lying in her yard. The commander had been massive. How would they transport it? "We would need a vehicle," Lena said. "Something larger than Maya's car." "There is a truck," Talia said, "at the research facility, where we found the crystal. Several vehicles in their motor pool." Lena exchanged looks with Maya. Breaking into the facility once had been risky. Returning would be suicide, especially now with the invasion underway. The military would be on high alert. But what choice did they have? "We could create a distraction," Lena said. "Something to draw attention away from the motor pool, the shield generator," Talia suggested. "If we modified it, we could create an energy pulse, something the human sensors would detect as an anomaly. They would send forces to investigate." Maya nodded. "That could work. But we would lose our protection." "Only temporarily," Talia said. "I can reconfigure the generator once we have secured transport." They spent the next few hours planning. Talia made modifications to the shield generator. Lena studied the area around the facility using a map she had drawn from memory. Maya prepared more of her toxin just in case. As dawn approached, they were ready. The crystal was fading faster now, its light barely visible. Even this deep in the caves, they had heard distant explosions throughout the night, the Vorn attack continuing systematically. They made their way back to the cave entrance, moving cautiously, Lena in the lead. The morning sky was hazy, filled with smoke. A red sun rose over a changed world. In the distance, they could see fires burning cities, perhaps, or forests. The air smelled of burning things. They reached Maya's car, removing the branches they had used to conceal it. Lena drove this time, taking back roads, avoiding main highways. They saw no other vehicles. The world seemed deserted, though occasionally they spotted helicopters in the distance, military probably responding to what they believed was a foreign attack. As they approached the research facility, they saw that it had changed. The security fence was reinforced. Armed guards patrolled in greater numbers. Military vehicles were parked inside the compound. Tanks and armored personnel carriers. Talia adjusted her appearance, taking human form again. They stopped a mile from the facility, parking behind an abandoned gas station. Talia set up the modified shield generator, adjusting it to emit an energy pulse that would register on military sensors. She activated it, and they quickly returned to the car. The pulse would trigger alarms, drawing forces to investigate. The pattern would suggest alien technology similar to what was attacking major cities. The military would respond in force, creating an opportunity. They circled around to the back of the facility, using the trees for cover. As predicted, alarms began to sound. Vehicles moved out, forces deploying toward the source of the energy signature. They waited until most of the vehicles had departed before approaching the fence. Talia used her abilities to bypass the electronic lock on a side gate. They slipped inside, moving quickly across the compound to the motor pool. Several vehicles remained, including a large military truck, perfect for their needs. Maya kept watch while Talia interfaced with the trucks, electronic systems bypassing the ignition. Lena searched nearby buildings, finding fuel cans. She filled the truck while Talia worked. An explosion sounded in the distance. The military had found the shield generator and destroyed it. They had minutes, at most, before forces returned. The truck engine roared to life. Talia slid over, making room for Lena behind the wheel. They picked up Maya and drove toward the exit. Suddenly, an alarm blared. They had been detected. Lena floored the accelerator, crashing through a barrier. The truck was armored, designed for combat zones. It barely slowed. Gunfire erupted behind them. Bullets pinged off the metal body. They raced away from the facility, taking back roads again. The truck was slower than the car, but more powerful, able to handle rough terrain. They drove directly to Lena's farm, hoping the Vorn drones had not been discovered. The farm was eerily quiet. The house showed signs of weapon fire. Walls scorched, roof partially collapsed. But the bodies of the Vorn commander and drones remained where they had fallen. Talia worked quickly, removing components from the fallen aliens. Her fingers moved with precision, extracting neural processors, power cells, communication devices. Maya helped, sorting the parts into categories as instructed. Lena kept watch. The skies were busy now, military aircraft flying in formation, heading toward major population centers. When they had harvested what they needed, they loaded everything into the truck and drove away. The farm that had been Lena's home for years was now just another casualty of war. She felt a moment of loss, then pushed it aside. Survival first, mourning later. Talia directed them to a clearing in the forest, where her ship lay hidden as they approached. Lena saw nothing unusual, just trees and undergrowth. Then Talia touched her wrist device and the air shimmered. The cloaking field dropped, revealing a sleek silver craft. Its teardrop shape familiar now to Lena. The ship was damaged, one side crumpled, inward the hull breached. Talia examined it, her expression grim but determined. It can be repaired, she said. But it will take time. How much time? Lena asked. A few hours. With the parts we have salvaged, I can make it space-worthy again, not for long distance travel, but enough to reach the Vorn command ship. And then what Maya asked, I will upload a virus to their neural network. Talia explained. It will disrupt their communication, causing confusion, chaos. It will not destroy them, but it will delay their assault, perhaps long enough for my people to arrive. Lena caught the pronoun. This is a suicide mission. Talia met her eyes. Yes. The virus must be delivered directly to their central processor. I must interface with their system physically. Both humans stared at her. The alien had already risked everything to warn them. Now she was prepared to sacrifice herself. There must be another way, Maya said. Talia shook her head. The Vorn would detect any remote attempt to breach their systems. and the virus must adapt in real time, responding to their security protocols. Only a living mind can guide it. I will go with you, Lena said. The words left her mouth before she had fully formed the thought. But she knew it was right. She was a soldier. This was a mission. And no soldier sent someone into danger alone. Talia looked at her with those strange violet eyes. You would die, probably, Lena agreed. But two have a better chance than one. Red lights flashed throughout the chamber. The wailing alarm hurt Lena's ears. She positioned herself by the door weapon, ready. Her heart pounded in her chest, but her hands were steady. Years of combat experience taking over muscle memory. Instinct, Talia, remained connected to the central column. Her body rigid with concentration. The silver tendrils from her fingers pulsed with light as they interfaced with the Vorn system. She had explained that the virus needed time to spread throughout the neural network, bypassing security protocols, adapting to countermeasures. Minutes at least. Perhaps longer. They did not have longer. The door slid open. 2. Vorn entered, their tall, angular bodies moving with mechanical precision, their sensor arrays scanning, the room immediately identifying the intruders. Lena fired. The energy pistol kicked in her hand. A beam of intense light struck the first Vorn in its sensor array. The creature staggered backward, crashing into its companion. Lena fired again and again, the pistol growing hot in her hand. The Vorn fell, their sensor arrays dark, but more would come. She knew this was only the beginning. Talia spoke, her voice strained. The virus is spreading. They are attempting to isolate it, to shut it down. I must guide it past their defenses. How much longer? Lena asked. 3 minutes. Perhaps 4, an eternity in combat. Lena had never had to hold a position for 4 minutes that felt like a lifetime. More Vorn appeared at the door. These carried weapons, energy staffs, that hummed with power. Lena fired, dropping one then another, but there were more coming. She could hear them in the corridor, beyond the doorway. She glanced back at Talia. The alien's silver skin was changing, rippling with patterns of light, as if the virus was flowing through her as well as the Vorn system. Was it harming her? Lena could not tell, but there was no time to worry about that. Now. More Vorn entered the chamber. Lena fired continuously. The pistol was overheating. She could feel it burning, her hand, but she did not stop. Could not stop. Too much depended on this mission. The fate of Earth. The survival of humanity. A Vorn got past her guard, its staff swinging toward her head. She ducked the weapon, passing just above her. She fired upward, hitting the creature in what might have been its chest. It fell, but its staff caught her across the shoulders. Pain exploded down her spine. She staggered, almost fell, regained her footing, and fired again. The door was blocked now with Vorn bodies, but they were climbing over their fallen comrades, relentless, unstoppable. Lena retreated step by step, moving closer to Talia, her back against the central column. She would make her last stand here. The pistol clicked empty. She cast it aside, drawing a knife she had brought from Earth. A pitiful weapon against these creatures, but it was all she had left. A Vorn lunged at her. She sidestepped, slashing with the knife. The blade skittered off armor, finding a joint, sinking in. The creature made a sound, like grinding metal. Its arm lashed out, catching Lena across the face. She tasted blood, saw stars, kept fighting. 2 minutes, Talia called. Her voice sounded strange, distorted, as if she were speaking from far away. Lena fought with everything she had, every trick, every technique, every dirty move she'd ever learned. The Vorn were stronger, faster, but she was fighting for her world, for everyone she had ever known, for Maya waiting below, for the billions who would never know what had happened here. Today a staff caught her in the side ribs, cracking. Pain flooding her system, she gasped for air, kept fighting. A Vorn grabbed her, lifting her off the ground. Its grip crushing, she stabbed blindly, felt the knife sink into something vital. The creature dropped her. She fell hard, landing among the bodies of fallen Vorn. She could not rise. Her legs would not obey. Broken, perhaps. or simply exhausted beyond function. She crawled toward Talia, using the bodies of dead Vorn as cover, dragging herself inch by inch 1 minute. Talia's voice was barely audible now. Her body seemed to be losing cohesion, silver skin flowing like mercury. The patterns of light more intense, brighter. Lena could see through her in places as if Talia were becoming one with the virus, with the system itself. More Vorn entered the chamber. They moved cautiously now, learning from their fallen comrades. Lena reached Talia's side, pulled herself up using the central column for support, her body screaming in protest. She would make one final stand. The Vorn surrounded them, weapons ready, but they did not attack. Instead, they seemed to be waiting, watching Talia's silver form, pulsed with light, each wave brighter than the last. What are they waiting for? Lena wondered. Then she understood. They were afraid to attack now might disrupt the connection in unpredictable ways. They were waiting for orders from a system that Talia was infiltrating. Done. Talia whispered. For a moment, nothing happened. The Vorn remained motionless. The alarms continued to wail. Then the lights flickered. The red glow of the central column pulsed erratically. The Vorn shuddered, their bodies jerking as if receiving conflicting commands. Some turned on each other, weapons firing at random. Others simply collapsed, their system shutting down. The virus, Lena realized it was working. Talia separated from the column, her form unstable, flowing like water. Her voice when she spoke seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The virus is spreading throughout there. Fleet. The neural network is compromised. They cannot coordinate. They cannot function as one. The ship shuddered around them, metal groaning, lights failing. The artificial gravity fluctuated, making Lena feel suddenly lighter, then heavier. He grabbed Talia, steadying her. The alien felt insubstantial, as if she might dissipate at any moment. We must return to the ship. Talia said, if we can reach Earth orbit, my people will find us. Lena looked at the fallen Vorn at the doorway. Beyond them, the corridor, where more would surely be waiting despite the confusion caused by the virus. She could barely stand, let alone fight their way back. I don't think I can make it, she admitted. Talia looked at her, her form stabilizing somewhat, though still shifting unpredictably. Then we stay together. The ship rocked violently, throwing them both to the floor. Warning sounds joined the alarms. Different, more urgent. What is happening? Lena asked. The command ship is failing, Talia explained. Systems are shutting down, reactor safeguards, failing. Without the neural network to maintain balance, they were going to die here, Lena realized. Not in battle, but in the collapse of the very ship they had infiltrated. She found she did not mind. The mission was accomplished. The virus was spreading. Earth would have time, a chance at least. She looked at Talia. The alien was changing again, her silver form glowing brighter, not shifting now but expanding, reaching out, energy rather than matter. What is happening to you? Lena asked. I am becoming, Talia said simply. My species, when we die, we transform energy, returning to the universe. But I can choose the manner of my transformation. She reached out, touching Lena's face, her hand cool like metal but soft, somehow comforting. I can save you, Talia said. Not your body that is too damaged, but your essence. What you would call your soul, I can carry it with me. Lena did not understand, but she trusted Talia, had trusted her from the moment she had helped the alien from the crashed ship. It seemed a lifetime. Ago now, the ship shuddered again more violently. Panels tore loose from walls, conduits ruptured, spewing gases and fluids. The central column was failing, its red glow flickering erratically. Yes, Lena said. Talia's form expanded, enveloping Lena silver. Light surrounded her, entered her. Lena felt a moment of panic, then peace, a sense of floating, of expansion. Her pain faded. Her body seemed distant, unimportant. She was aware of Talia not as a separate being, but as part of herself, or she as part of Talia. The distinction meaningless. They rose together through the failing ship. Walls no longer barriers matter. No longer limiting energy moving freely. The Vorn ship collapsed around them, imploding as its reactor went critical. But they were already beyond it, moving faster than light. Across space below them, Earth turned beautiful, fragile home. From orbit, the damage was barely visible. Fires like pinpricks of light against the darkness. Talia had said her people would come, would help rebuild, would protect Earth from any Vorn that remained. Maya would tell their story, would explain what had happened here, what had been sacrificed, what had been saved. Lena felt herself expanding further, becoming more than she had been. Her consciousness, merging with Talia's, not lost but transformed. Something new, something greater. Silver energy among the stars. Together they moved outward, away from Earth toward distant stars, where Talia's people waited, where new adventures, new discoveries, new forms of existence awaited. A journey without end. A transformation beyond imagination. Behind them, the remains of the Vorn command ship burned briefly in Earth's atmosphere, a falling star, a portent of change. The other ships drifting powerless, their crews, confused, disoriented, easy targets when Talia's people arrived. Maya watched from the forest clearing as the night sky lit up with the death of the command ship. She did not know if Lena and Talia had succeeded, but the sudden silence, the cessation of distant explosions gave her hope. She looked up at the stars, wondering if somewhere among them Lena still lived in some form. She hoped so. She chose to believe so. Above her, a streak of silver light moved across the sky, too fast for a satellite, too purposeful for a meteor. Maya smiled through her tears and whispered, "Thank you," in the vast emptiness of space. Two beings now, one continued their journey. Silver energy against the blackness of space. A human and an alien united in purpose, in sacrifice and transformation. Their story on Earth was ending, but elsewhere among the stars it was just beginning.